Howdy howdy, my name is Mr. Casilio and welcome to Geometry. If you've been having a hard time understanding the transformation rules, then this video is for you, alright? What I'm going to do in this video is I will give you a problem with the transformation rule, explain it a bit, and then give you a chance to pause and answer the question. So here we go, number 1. Transform the coordinate point, -3, 5, according to the rule xy transforms x minus 2, y plus 3. So that is this rule right here, where you take your x and your y values and you do that given rule. So you're going to take your x and your y and stick them in here, which means I end up getting a -3 minus 5 and a 5 minus 3. So take a minute and answer that question. Alright? The answer here should be -3 minus 5 gets me a -8, comma, you have your 5 minus 3, which gets me a positive 2, -8, comma 2. Alright. Next up, reflect the coordinate point -2, -1 over the y-axis. So this is where most get tripped over. Understanding what happens with the x and the y when we switch them, when we change the signs. So over here, x going from here to here has the same sign. So we're going to keep the sign, same sign. Y going from here to here, this is positive, that's negative, which means the sign change. So this means change your sign. So take your -2, -1, the x value keeps the sign, the y value changes signs. Alright, pause the video and answer. And your answer should have been -2, 1. Same x, change sign for the y. Alright, next up. Reflect the coordinate point 9, -12 over the line y equals -x. Here's the given rule for that. When we reflect over y equals -x, notice where the x is going, notice where the y is going. This x and that x have the same sign, so nothing happens with the sign. That y and that y also has the same sign. Same. So all you're doing is you take the x and the y and they switch places, they keep the signs. So take a minute to answer. And your answer should be -12, 9. Again, x and y switch places. Next, rotate the coordinate point 12, 4, 90 degrees counterclockwise. Here's that rule, 90-degree counterclockwise. Your x moves to the back, it keeps the same sign. Your y moves to the front and it changes signs. Okay, take a minute to answer. Your answer should be that 12 moves to the back as a 12 keeps the sign. That 4 moves to the front, changing the sign to a -4. So -4, 12. Alright. Next up, reflect the coordinate point 9, -12 over the line y equals -x. Here's your rule. What's happening here is your x right here goes to the back. It changes the signs because that's negative, that's positive. When that happens, that means change sign. Your y also change signs. So x and y switch places and change signs. Right, take a minute to answer. And your answer should be that 9 goes to the back as a -9. That -12 goes to the front as a +12. Number 6, dilate the coordinate point -4, 7 using the rule xy transforms 3x, 2y centered on the origin. Okay, so this is a non-proportional dilation, which means the x and the y are multiplied by different values. Alright, according to this rule, x going to this x, we have that 3, which means you multiply by 3. And then y, going to this y, you have that number over here, it's a 2, which means you multiply by 2. Okay? So take them into answer. And your answer should be, your negative 4 comma 7 should be negative 12 comma 14. Negative 4 multiplied by 3 gets me negative 12. 7 multiplied by 2 gets me 14. Okay. Next up, number 7. Reflect the coordinate point negative 4, negative 5 over the y-axis. The rule right here tells me that your x is still in the front, but it keeps the same sign. Now your y, when your y, oops, sorry, x is not the same sign, it's a different sign, change sign. Wow. Change sign, because you have an x and that's a negative x. Now for the y, from y to y, that keeps the same sign. Same sign. Alright? So take them into answer. And when we come back, your answer should be x is still in the front, but now the negative changes to a positive 4. Your y moves to the back with the same sign. So it's still a negative 5. Alright, number 8, dilate the coordinate point negative 2 comma 8 by a scale factor of 1/2 centered on the origin. So according to my rule, you multiply. So x going here, you multiply by 1/2. Y going here, you still have that same scale factor, so you're still multiplying by 1/2. Oops. So take a minute to answer it. And we're back. And you should get negative 2 multiplied by 1/2 gets me negative 1. 8 multiplied by 1/2 gets me 4. Okay. And we're almost there. Alright, number 9. Rotate the coordinate point negative 5 comma 7 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. So looking at our rule, this x moves all the way back there. That's a positive, that's a negative. What that means doesn't mean make negative, it means change sign. So you're going to want to change the sign. Your y here moves to the front, but it keeps the same sign. Okay, so take a minute to answer that. And then we're back. And so what you're doing here is that negative 5 moves to the back, changing the sign. It should be a positive 5. This 7, as it moves to the front, has the same sign. So 7, 5. Lastly, rotate the coordinate point 14 comma negative 19 180 degrees about the origin. The rule for a 180 degree rotation is as follows: x comma y transforms negative x negative y. X is still x in the front, but notice the signs changed, so we should have a changed sign here. Your y is still y in the back, but just like with x, notice that's a positive y, that's a negative sign. They have different signs here, so different signs means I change the sign. Alright, so take a minute to answer this. And now your answer should be 14 changes to a negative 14, change sign. And then your 19, negative 19, changes to a positive 19, change signs. So there you have it, practicing how to use these different transformation rules, understanding what we mean by positive and negatives in the rule, and what happens when x and y switch places in the rule.